Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tips, tools, and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanya and I help people tap into their inner healer naturally and intuitively. Today in this episode, I thought I would share some tools or techniques or ways that you can emotionally detox. I talked about ways to physically detox in the last episode, and I thought that this would be beneficial for some of you who are going along that path and who resonate with this particular topic. So we are being inundated on a daily basis by so many different stressors that are causing us emotional imbalance, that are causing us anxiety, frustration, anger, depression, all of these different emotions. And we're like little pressure cookers. The more we continue to add these stressors into our life, the more we're just blowing up and lashing out on others. That's something that I have definitely kind of witness that's going on in the collective energy lately, is that we are just so emotionally taxed. And I kind of put together several different techniques or tips that I have used over the years that have been very beneficial to me. So I hope that some of these can be beneficial to you too, or you can kind of pick and choose and take out little tips that will help you become more emotionally balanced in your daily life. So one way that I have personally emotionally detoxed is to decrease the amount of distractions in my life. I was working in a very fast-paced, high-energy, high-stress healthcare position where everything was setting me off. I was just trying to keep it together. I was like a duck on water. I was just, really cool and calm and collective on the top, but underneath my little feet were like, and I was just so stressed out. And all I wanted to do when I would get home was to just take off my work clothes and throw on my jammies and just completely veg out on the couch. So number one of the ways that we can emotionally detox is to be more consciously aware of what we're watching on television. So I come from an advertising public relations background, and I took many, many classes in subliminal messaging. And a lot of us aren't aware of the amount of subliminal messaging that's coming through in our television programs. And they call them a television program because they are programming us to believe things in a certain fashion. So do you remember when you were a kid? I know for me, I would be watching Saturday morning cartoons and then the commercials would come on and it was all these toys. And then I'd go and tell my parents, I want that for Christmas, or I want that for my birthday. And I was being subliminally programmed to want those toys. And so my parents got to a point like, oh, we just don't want them to watch the cartoons anymore because all we want is, I want that, I want that, I want that. Well, if you can, not watch those commercials, that can be very, very beneficial. So one way I like to do it is I record with the DVR, or you can fast forward or do on demand where you don't have to watch those commercials, because a large percentage of the subliminal messaging is coming through the commercials. And what it's doing is it's creating certain messages in your subconscious mind. And that in turn can create emotional stressors that you aren't even really aware of. So anxiety, frustration, depression, sadness, you don't even really realize that those messages are coming through. So we're getting them not only through the sound of the television, but also through the images and visuals on the television as well. So being more consciously aware of not only the commercials, but the programs that we're watching as well. Are you watching a program late at night and then you turn it off and then you're having a difficult time sleeping? You were probably being programmed. The television is a huge distraction that we can definitely turn off a little bit, limit some of the amount of time that we watch the television. Another way to decrease our distractions is to monitor our social media. Okay, so we all in this day and age are probably on some form of social media. And for me, there was a time when my social media was really stressful. I would get on Facebook or Instagram, and some of the things that I was following were very stressful. So what I did is I started unfollowing and unfriending certain people and pages that were causing me stress and anxiety. And I started following the pages and the people that lifted me up, that made me feel good. So Now, my Facebook page is a delight to look at. When I'm scrolling through things, it makes me feel good because I kind of cleared out all of that negative clutter that was on my social media page that is no longer serving me. So you absolutely have control over your social media. You just have to take the time to kind of clean it out like you would a closet, in your home. Just unfollow all of that negativity and that drama. You put a snooze on some of those people who may be super negative or just bringing in the drama to your Facebook page. See how you feel after you start to cleanse out some of that, some of that energy. Another way to decrease your distractions is your cell phone. Okay, so this is a big one. I swear all my friends have these alerts, these news alerts on their phone, and I'm sure you probably do too. I have no news alerts on my phone. You know why? Because I shut those off. I don't care. I want control of the news that I read. So if I know that there's something going on, I want to have control of when I look at that information and when I receive that information. When you have alerts, you are out of control with the information that is being pushed at you. So you may be having a really great morning. You got up, you meditated, you journaled, you went to the gym, you feel fantastic, and then you get back and you're like, shooting in Alabama or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, what does that do? That immediately lowers your energy. So what I've done is shut off all of those alerts. So that way, if I do know that there's something out there that I personally want to get more information on, I will go search for it myself in the time that I feel is right when I am mentally prepared for that. So my emotions aren't on this roller coaster ride. Another way you can help decrease those distractions is to turn off your ringer as well. Some of those ringtones kind of put these alerts in our subconscious mind. I know for me, when I hear certain ringtones, it reminds me of certain people or certain times in my life. And so I pretty much keep my phone on vibrate most of the time. And those alerts can cause subconscious anxiety when you're not really used to it or accustomed to having that. So your cell phone is a big one. Also, don't sleep with your cell phone next to your head. Not only is it keeping you up at night, if you've got those alerts going off, it's breaking up your REM sleep, but it's also pushing electromagnetic frequencies at your brain, and that's not positive. So if you can sleep with either your phone maybe across the room on your dresser or something like that, or even put it on airplane mode. I kind of do that sometimes at night, and put it across the room on vibrate. It'll be a much softer tone, so that way you're not being abruptly woken up throughout the night. So another way to avoid those distractions is to avoid personal and office drama and gossip. So every time that you engage in drama or gossip, it's lowering your energy. It's lowering that personal frequency that you are trying to achieve by not participating in it. So the more that you do that, the more that they drain your energy. So those folks who are interested in the gossip and the negativity and the drama, they are energy vampires. They are there to suck your energy out of you, and you will feel it when you're hanging out with these folks. So try to do the best that you can to not participate and not engage in that. And that'll definitely help reduce some of those distractions and make you feel much more emotionally balanced, so your emotions aren't on this absolute teeter-totter all the time. Another way to emotionally detox is to spend more time in nature. And I know that I'm always touting spending more time in nature, but it's so important. The earth puts off a natural frequency called the Schumann resonance. And the Schumann resonance is the same exact frequency as the human brain. So when we're trapped in an office all day long, or we're around our artificial electromagnetic frequencies like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or smart meters, what's happening is it's distorting our energetic system. So when we spend time in nature, when we actually put our feet on the ground or touch a tree or walk, in nature, we are resetting our own personal energetic system. I know there's been many a times where I've actually gone out for a walk or just sat in nature and looked at the mountains, and I've started to cry. And really what it's doing is it's releasing that lower density emotions, bringing those up to the surface to be released, because it's raising that frequency so you are more in tune with the earth. So the more time that you can spend in nature, the more you will benefit mind, mind, body, and soul. Another way that you can spend more time in nature is to grow or pick your own food. One of the things that I have absolutely enjoyed doing is actually going up to the farms and picking my own produce. I go up and pick my own apples, my own plums, my own blueberries, and it is so relaxing, and it's so neat to know where your food is coming from, and it's fun to go pick your own food. If you have children, take your kids to the local farms if you have that option in your area. Maybe you can start a garden in your backyard. One of the best things you can do is get your hands in the dirt. You are touching the earth. You are realigning your energetic frequency. You know where those seeds are coming from, where that food is coming from, and you're putting your own love and time into that food. And like I said, if you have kids, get the kids involved. They love to do that kind of stuff. And that too will also raise your emotional feelings so that you'll feel more balanced and more in harmony. Take time to go out and take walks in pretty areas. If you have to drive 30 minutes, you live in the city, drive 30 minutes to go to a lake, maybe, go somewhere where there's a pretty park with lots of trees, get out and take a walk somewhere where there's nature, where you can actually feel like you're in the country. I know most cities will have some sort of a park that you can go to where you can walk. That can really make a difference because not only are you engaging your sense of smell, and you're also engaging your sense of sight, and it's really helping to align and balance you out emotionally. If you live in the city, try to get out of the city and take a vacation. Go somewhere in nature. A lot of us have a tendency to go somewhere like Disney or somewhere that's kind of highly stressful, when we go on vacation. Why do we do that to ourselves? Go somewhere where you can enjoy the quiet peacefulness of nature. Maybe go camping or rent an RV or do something where you can really connect. Something else that you can do to help release some of that emotional burden on your body is to incorporate yourself in more natural healing modalities. Many of us are so overstimulated emotionally. We are so inundated every single day by all of these things that are coming at us, and we don't always have the time to process those emotions. And many of us are stuck in a form of autopilot where we're just going from day to day to day doing the same exact routine, and we have all of these emotions that are starting to build up, and we're just not allowing ourselves time to release them or time to process them. So I have utilized a natural healing modality is through the form of EFT tapping, so emotional freedom technique. And if you want to see some videos or learn a little bit more about EFT, then check out some of my earlier videos on what is EFT tapping. And so basically, EFT tapping is a stress relief exercise, which is based on Chinese acupressure, not acupuncture with the needles, but acupressure, as well as modern day psychology. So as you're tapping on certain acupressure points, you're stating what is going on in your life. And as you're doing that, you are releasing the energy behind that emotion. So you're releasing that magnetic charge that is being trapped in your body. So it helps with both physical and emotional ailments. So it's really, really beneficial. It has been around for more than 5,000 years, and there are more than 60 different scientific studies that state that it is a very good beneficial healing modality. So that is a good example of something that you can do to help release those emotions so you can feel a lot more balanced. Another way that you can emotionally detox is to practice self-care. As a society, we have definitely been trained to care for others more than we care for ourselves. And I know for me personally, working in a healthcare field, that was exactly the case. I was extending all of my energy for others, and then by the time I got home, I was absolutely depleted, right? What does self-care look like to you? Self-care does not have to be this grandiose going to the spa, spending $500 unless you want it to be that, all right? It can be taking a walk after work for 30 minutes alone. It can be sitting down and writing in your journal before you go about your day. It can be coming home and making a nice cup of tea and sitting down and reading a good book. For me, what I've been doing lately is picking one natural healing modality per month that I have been learning and doing for my own personal experience. You deserve to navigate your life in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.theexistentialempath.com.